time for Ask Zach. This is the ending segment I do every show. People support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. If you support me at the dollar level or above, it's just $12 a year. If you give me $1 a month, you have a chance you can submit questions to me, and I read all the questions, and I pick the top couple to answer at the end of every single episode. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm only answering 3 questions today. I think it's a big topic, and it's all focused on one thing. I asked for more questions for Ask Zach, and I got them. I'm so happy. Keep sending me your questions. I have so many now to go through, and I'm so happy about that. We're going to do a lot of shows this week. I'll do a lot of Ask Zachs at the end of every episode. I'm trying to answer almost every question I do because I'm going out of town soon, and I want to get them all answered. But today I want to do something special. I want to focus on all the questions surrounding how I would fix baseball. So Carl and Anthony wrote in. 2 people. If I can find the piece of paper, wherever it is. Carl and Anthony wrote in. Here, we'll read Carl's question first. Carl says, "Hi, Zach. Here's a question for you. Imagine you're the commissioner of baseball." He says, "Congratulations." Yeah, I made it. Cool. He said, "How do you fix the sport? TV ratings are weak, even for World Series, to say nothing of random regular season games. Live attendance is often mediocre, and there aren't enough fans under 30. How can we fix that? How can we fix baseball? Thank you for making the show." That's what Carl wrote. Anthony said a similar question, so I want to read that too. Anthony says this. Anthony says, "Hey, Zach, I love the show. Keep up the good work. My question is, do you think the MLB should try to modernize their game to appeal to new fans or stick to tradition to keep the old ones? MLB attendance has been a hot topic recently, and I'd love to hear your thoughts." Well, first of all, dude, Anthony and Carl, thank you so much for your questions. You gotta find new fans. You gotta always be finding new people. And if your fan base is all old, they're gonna die, and then you're gonna die because your fans better be younger. You want to focus. You always want to be ready for the next generation. But here's the thing: to me, baseball is such a great sport. I love going to baseball games. It's so much fun. My girlfriend and I we have this whole group of friends. We all go to Portland Pickles baseball games. It's a little wood bat league. And that's an example of baseball is so fun. You get a drink, you're with your girlfriend, there's good baseball in front of you. It's just awesome. Now, the MLB in particular needs to do a better job adapting to modern times. Going to games is great, but social media is where, to me, baseball needs to do a better job. They got to engage and embrace it. And there's a couple ways they got to do that. One, baseball is so awful to people who post baseball content. They claim every single video. If you put a video on YouTube with baseball stuff on it, instantly claimed. You don't make any money. It's nothing. John Boy Media is the best baseball creator in the entire world, in the planet. To me, nothing's better than John Boy Media. And my guess is, I've never talked to John Boy, but I'm 99.9% certain John Boy doesn't make any money from his videos he posts on YouTube because he's got baseball content in there and baseball claims it. Now, the only way he can make money then is either through a service like Patreon where people subscribe to him, or when he has baked in ads saying this segment sponsored by, the Green Shirt Club. And the Green Shirt Club sponsors this video, and then he shows a little breakdown. By the way, if you've never heard of John Boy Media, he's fantastic. But it's idiotic for baseball to claim John Boy's content. Baseball should embrace John Boy Media. They should support him. In fact, they should let him make money off of his content because guess what? John Boy Media is a living, breathing, walking around commercial for baseball. And he's the best kind of fan you want. He's the best kind of commercial you want because John Boy loves baseball. And everything John Boy says promotes Major League Baseball. He's doing them a favor. If he makes money doing them a favor, he should because he's giving you free advertising. Baseball should look at John Boy as a free commercial. If they did that, that'd be great. And they should do that with everybody who makes baseball content. The more people talk about baseball, the better it is for them. You know why I've tuned into baseball this year? Because John Boy Media reminded me how fun baseball can be. It's so cool. Baseball has so many little moments, special moments that other sports just don't have. And John Boy Media on YouTube is a celebration of all of those moments. So baseball needs to relax their grip on videos that people post. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Go to Instagram. If you go to Instagram right now and look up Instagram, look for baseball news. The pages are all awful. There is no good, reliable, interesting, engaging way to find baseball news on Instagram. And I think it's because the way baseball treats it. They don't like when people do that. Baseball wants to do it all themselves. The only real good way to find baseball news is the official MLB Instagram account. But that one's so mixed in with other clips and stuff. It's too much crap. I don't like it. If you go to look up NFL news on Instagram. Oh wow, there's a bunch. Like there's so many pages, and they all have interesting, good content that is easy to follow and doesn't look like crap. Because the NFL doesn't have a monopoly on it. They don't care about owning it. They just want people talking about football. They realize baseball needs to understand that the more people that talk about baseball, the better it is for their sport. The more people talking and sharing MLB content, the more they grow, the better it is for them. They don't seem to understand that. In the video game world, there's a guy named Rad Brad. He makes really good video game content. What he does is he just plays video games and records it. It's called a walkthrough. And you can look at it from this perspective. Video game companies could look at it and go, man, Rad Brad is posting so game developers, the guy who made, id Software made a video game called Rage a couple years ago. Not Rage 2, I'm talking the original Rage. When I first saw Rad Brad, he was doing a walkthrough of the video game Rage. And id Software, who made the game, could go, oh my gosh, this guy's posting our entire game on YouTube. And they could get really mad. But they didn't, because guess what? The Rad Brad is actually free commercials for the game. I bought Rage because I saw it and it looked fun. I was like, I want to buy that too. When people make video game content on YouTube, guess what it does? It's a free commercial for the game. It influences people to buy the product. It's the exact same thing with baseball. Jumbo Media is a good thing for baseball. And they need to understand that MLB should use him. He's like their best resource. He's the living, breathing, walking commercial. I've repeated myself so many times. But it's not just that, right? The other way baseball needs to embrace social media is they need to embrace cool moments. Bat flips are awesome. I love bat flips. It's great. You hit a home run, you throw the bat across the room, and then the pitcher's staring you down because he's mad at you for showing him up. It's awesome, and I love it. Drama, drama, drama. I will show that 1 billion times on Instagram. If I see drama like that, I'm engaged. It's awesome. But baseball, baseball doesn't like bat flips. They go, baseball purists are the most annoying, ignorant, idiotic people. Baseball purists are going to kill baseball. If you reject change, you're stupid. The world changes. Baseball needs to change. That is how the world works. The world changes. You need to adapt. Please, baseball, please adapt. I'm begging you because I like your sport, but you got to be better. Bat flips are awesome. Embrace bat flips. Social media is a real thing. You got to use social media. If you don't, you're a freaking idiot. If people want to talk about you on social media, allow them to. That is how your sport can grow. Oh, sorry. Baseball's too good a sport to not be more popular. That's the problem. At its heart, it's a good product, but the people in charge of it are not doing a good job. Look at what the NFL recently did with celebrations. You score a touchdown, you celebrate, you get your little ball and you throw it, and woo, you're all excited. It's awesome. The NFL embraced celebrations. They realized, oh, they're funny, they're cool, and I can see them on social media. They realized people are going to share our content. People are going to talk about football more if they have cool celebrations to talk about. Baseball should do the same thing. Bat flips are cool, but baseball people are like, bat flips are stupid. It's disrespectful. Yeah, drama is interesting. The NFL and NBA have embraced drama. That's the problem. Baseball has not. Bryce Harper is my favorite baseball player in the world. I love Bryce Harper. He's not even the best player remotely, but he's interesting. He's fun to watch. He's kind of been a punk in the past, and that's why I like Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper once, he took his helmet and he threw it at a pitcher, and I was like, that is so cool. And you know what happened as a result of that? I watched like 10 more games because of Bryce Harper. And the MLB should have made a gigantic, 50-foot building with Bryce Harper plastered on the side. Said, we love Bryce Harper because guess what? He got people like me to watch baseball. He sold their product because he's interesting, because he's fun. Look, I get it. You don't need to throw helmets to be interesting in baseball. The pure sport of baseball at its heart is amazing. right? Think of a moment it's playoff baseball. Playoff baseball is so tense and so fun. It's the playoffs. It's the top of the ninth inning. Your team is down 1, and there's a runner on second base. You know that a base hit scores the runner. That's awesome. There's tension. But the problem is not everybody understands that nuance. Not everybody knows even to look for it. But everybody likes a bat flip. And then you need people like, so everybody likes drama. We can all recognize drama. And then you need people like John Boy Media who are able to relay the information and the breakdowns that show, oh, you know that thing, the guy on second base and all this stuff? You need a guy like John Boy to break it down to explain to simple people so they can learn to appreciate baseball more. Baseball has not done a good job spreading their message. That leads me to Caleb's question. This is the third question I wanted to answer today. Caleb says this. And by the way, Caleb has been a longtime supporter of Strong Opinion Sports. He once bought me a piece of equipment in the early days. I'm just, man, when I had no money, he was there for me. I really, really appreciated it. Caleb writes in and says this. He says, what do you think is the ideal amount of regular season games for each of the big 4 American sports, NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB? Look, I think baseball could be fixed by simply embracing social media, letting creators make content, and allowing bat flips to happen. But here is the other piece that makes it even better. If you can change the schedule of baseball, it'd be great. So the NFL has 16 regular season games. You can add 2 more. They can have 18. It'd be fine. But every game matters in the NFL. Every single week, people tune in because it matters. The NBA has 82 games. It's a bit much for me, but it works. The money all works out. It's all happy. People like it. I wouldn't change the NBA. And I wouldn't change hockey. Hockey has 82 games the same way the NBA does. It works. It's good enough. But baseball? Major League Baseball has 162 games. That's insane. That is way, 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 way too many. What that does is it makes games meaningless. Why would I go? Why would I watch? I'll just do it tomorrow. You know, there's a game tomorrow. Well, there's also a game the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. There's so many baseball games. They oversaturated the market. The reason why playoff baseball is so good is because it matters. Because you know there might not be more of that. You embrace the moment. It's special. And when you can make baseball special, it's awesome. Sometimes less is more. My proposal is this. This is what I would do to baseball to change it. Every division in baseball has 5 teams. There's the NL and AL East, West, and Central divisions. Just play the teams in your division 6 times. You play a 3-game series at home in your city, and then a 3-game series in their city. That's 30 games right there. Then you generate 50 more games by playing 5-0. You generate 50 more games by playing the other 25 teams in Major League Baseball twice a year. And there's options. You can either play them 1 game in their city, 1 game in my city, or let's say this year we play 2 games in my city, and next year we play 2 games in your city. But either way you work it out, there's way fewer games. It would lead to 80 regular season Major League Baseball games, 30 in your division, 50 just playing everybody else. I think that'd be great. But just imagine you're a kid in Georgia and you love Mike Trout. Mike Trout is your favorite baseball player. And you know he's going to be in your state. You live 2 hours away, but you know he's going to be at Atlanta 1 time this year. Guess what you're doing? You're going to drive 2 hours to Atlanta because you want to see your favorite baseball player because you know he's not coming back. If you want to see him this year, that's the only time you do it. You drive to Atlanta because you want to watch Mike Trout play against the Braves. And if you can't go, you're going to watch it because you care. You love Mike Trout. You want to see Mike Trout against your team. Baseball needs to lower the amount of games to create more demand. People need to understand baseball is just a product. Baseball games are the product Major League Baseball sells. And right now, the supply is so big that there's low demand. They oversaturated the market with baseball games. It's too many. Stop looking at baseball as this thing. It's a product. It's a product you sell. And if there's too much of a product, nobody wants it. It becomes less valuable. It's very simple. So what you got to do to baseball is create more demand by making the supply smaller. Make it special. The Nintendo NES Classic came out, I think it was last year. But there was a limited supply. Nintendo only made and shipped so many. So they were hard to find in major cities in North America because everybody wanted them. They were sold out. It was hard to find. There was scarcity. There was rarity. It mattered. Make baseball special by having fewer games. It might actually, initially it might hurt you financially. I understand. Like you have all these deals made. If you have fewer games, how's the money going to work out? But sometimes less is more. Here's how I think actually you might make more money with baseball. It would become more popular. Because you could have, so let's, for an example, you could have 10 games, say you have 10 games a week, right? I don't know how the numbers work out. Maybe it's better with videos. But say you have 10 games. Would you rather have 10 games with, 15,000 to 100,000 people watching? That's one option. Or, so let's say if you have 10 games, the maximum amount of people you can have watching is 1 million people throughout the week. Or what you could do, instead of having 10 games with nobody watching, how about you have 3 games that everybody watches? 3 games with 1 million people watching every single game. I don't know if that makes any sense, but my point is if you have less, you might get higher engagement and actually make more money. Games might sell out. People on TV might watch more because there's not a game every day this week, but there's one. It's Tuesday night, and it's going to be a good matchup. You want to watch that because that's a high-ticket item. Create more demand by lowering the supply. Baseball right now, as it is too much. There's too much baseball. Something happens on Monday night, last night. It's really cool, but by the time you go to appreciate it on Tuesday, there's already another game. It's hard to cover baseball. I find it hard to follow because there's just so much of it. All the time, baseball. I go to talk about a game yesterday, and there's already another game. Or you got to try to follow the world, the standings, and you're like, well, we've already moved on. By the time I talk about the fact that the Mets are a game back, they've 2 games ahead. My point is this is how I would fix baseball. Embrace social media. Please, for the love of God, can Major League Baseball embrace social media? It's a good thing. It's a tool you can use. Content creators are free commercials, and they are the best kind of commercials because they love what you have. They just want to talk about your thing and share their love and their passion. That's the best kind of commercial for your sport. Bat flips are awesome. Please embrace bat flips. They're great. The same way the NFL embraced celebrations, baseball needs to embrace the drama of bat flips. I hit a home run, I throw my bat, the pitcher stares at me, he's all mad. Everybody, no matter how well you know baseball, when 2 people are mad at each other, staring each other down, everybody understands it. No matter what language you speak, no matter how well you know a sport, you always understand that guy doesn't like that other guy, and I'm going to watch that. And fewer games would make baseball so much more meaningful. It'd make it more special. It's supply and demand. It's very simple. Right now, there's an oversaturation of the market. There's too many baseball games. They need to make it special with rarity. That is how I would fix baseball. Guys, my name is Zach Schomler. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I don't know why I always turn at the end. I'm just so grateful, man. I love my job so much. I got a date with my girlfriend tonight. It's going to be really fun. And I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful you watch. I'm so grateful you listen. My name is Zach Schomler. Hope you have a great day. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Ba-dum-bum. Bam. We are done. My name is Zach Schomler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. And you may not know, my dream when I graduate college eventually is to do this show as my full-time job. Now, I also want to be very upfront and honest about my plan and what's going on. I recently monetized my YouTube channel. What that means is that some of my videos make money through ad revenue. Now, it's fewer than you think. A lot of my videos get claimed. But in the past, I've received donations through the form of PayPal and Patreon.com. PayPal.me/Zach Schomler. Patreon.com/Zach Schomler. So because I'm making ad revenue, it felt weird to just get donations. I wanted to give something back to the people who support me on Patreon. So now there's a reward. If you support me on Patreon, you can submit questions at the dollar level or above. You just need to give $1 a month. If you do that, you can submit questions to a pool of questions where I look at. I'll read all the questions on Patreon, and I pick the top couple every episode and read them and answer them on a segment called Ask Zach. Pick the top couple questions and answer them at the end of every single episode. Now, that's for people who want to support me with money. If you have no money to give, I totally understand. I've actually never supported anybody on Patreon. I feel kind of weird about that. I'm a broke college kid myself. I totally understand. But if you believe in me and if you believe in my dream and still want to help me, one thing you can do is help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Guys, thank you so much. I know that was a long spiel. I really appreciate it, and hope you have a great day.